Hello from Hollywood. My name is Anthony Boyer. I've been a talent agent in Los Angeles for over 15 years, and today I want to talk about so you want to move to Los Angeles. So when I first had the idea for this video, I was looking for sort of a practical guide on what to do when you're planning a move to a major market. I chose Los Angeles because I live here, but maybe you want to move to New York. Maybe you want to move to Chicago or Atlanta, any sort of a big filmmaking market. It's important that you plan ahead and you know what you're getting yourself into. First of all, congratulations on making the decision to move to a large market. I'm going to assume that you are ready to hit the ground running, that you are trained, that you have good materials, at least good for the market you come from, and that you're ready to go. So the very first thing to know about Los Angeles is wherever you're coming from, this is probably going to be a more challenging market. What I mean by that is Los Angeles is where the best in the world come to ply their trade. So the first thing you're going to want to do 3 to 6 months out is you're going to want to start researching neighborhoods. You're going to want to look for something that matches your budget, obviously, and you're going to want to start to think about the commute and traffic. Los Angeles, I think people who haven't been here or haven't spent a lot of time here, you may not realize just how much sprawl there is. Los Angeles is really spread out. So let's say, for instance, you're looking at a map and you think like, well, San Bernardino is right next door. That is a very long way to go when you have to get to the west side at 5 p.m. for a commercial audition. So think about accessibility to highways, location in general, and how you're going to get to and from auditions. The next thing you're going to want to do in that 3 to 6 month window is really just save money. You're going to want to live on significantly less than you earn while you're preparing for this move. There are going to be related moving costs. There are going to be living expenses. Los Angeles can be an expensive place to live. And there are going to be business expenses as well. I'm going to put a link up here to a video talking about things that you're going to want to invest in your career and getting your business started when you get to Los Angeles. And you're also going to want to budget for some unexpected expenses because that always happens. The next thing you're going to want to do in that 3 to 6 month window is really build your toolkit. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean headshots. You're going to want some sort of professional quality headshots. I know you're probably shooting out of market wherever you're coming from. Maybe you want to actually even come to LA and shoot here. Whatever works for you, but make sure that you've got as good headshots as you can afford to get before you move here. You're also going to want to make sure your resume is on point, that it is professionally formatted. You can probably look up online and see, professional resume formats for actors. You don't want to just have like a CV, like if you're applying to, Starbucks or something. Next, you're going to want to make sure that your footage is as good as you can get. If you've acted locally, if you've done some student films or some short films or some independent films, make sure you have that footage. Make sure it looks as good as it can and that you have it cut into some sort of reel or a format that people can watch when they want to see your materials. Again, it's really important when you first get to town that you put your best foot forward because you are suddenly up against the best talent in the world. So make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. And the final thing is having some sort of website or social media presence where if I want to see more of your materials, I can go there and look. It's really vital that when you come to Los Angeles or when you enter into this industry, people know how to contact you if they want to hire you for acting work. So having a website, having a social media presence where people can find you and contact you for work is really important. In that 3 to 6 month window, another thing you're going to want to take advantage of that time and do is start to scout for representation. Jump on IMDb Pro and make a list of reputable agents and managers that you think you might want to work with. You might as well do all of this sort of legwork ahead of time so when you get to Los Angeles, you can hit the ground running and not have to start from zero. So the first weeks after you move, welcome to Los Angeles. I'm sure that you have found a great neighborhood, that you have materials that are so on point that you're getting called in all the time. You're going to Santa Monica at 5 p.m. for those commercial auditions, and you are starting to find your groove. You're going to want to settle into your neighborhood, obviously. find your grocery store, find your gym, find where you're going to network, find where you're going to relax, find where you're going to do self-care. It's really important before life sort of takes over. Get to know your surroundings, get to know your environment. Los Angeles is full of these really cool little neighborhoods that you might not find unless you're actually looking. So make sure that you take the time when you first get to your location to build your life, because that's going to be really important in maintaining sanity, honestly, and making sure that you're able to put your best foot forward with your work. The next thing you're going to want to do when you first move is look for your day job. Now, your day job doesn't have to happen during the day, of course, but this is going to be the thing that sustains you and your business while you get started. You're probably not going to be earning a lot of money up front from your acting career, and even if you are, that's going to be going back into your acting career. So this job is going to be sustaining you and your business. I see a lot of people move to Los Angeles and they have a difficulty launching their business because they get locked in at a job where now suddenly that's sucking up a lot of their time and energy. I think find somewhere where you have the flexibility to audition, where you have the ability to if you book a job, you have to be able to go and shoot. And so look for something that fulfills those requirements as well. Also going to want to build your community. That means finding an acting studio, finding your network, building your network. Before you moved, we had you sort of building your network from afar. Now is the time to build it in person, up close and personal. So make sure that if you do know people in town, if you do know people in the industry, now is when you want to start massaging those relationships, putting in the time up front, take people out to coffee if you can, take people out to lunch if you can, but really start to treat your network as a professional network. You're also going to want to make sure that you get an IMDb Pro account, that you're doing your research there and starting to build also a network through IMDb Pro and understanding what sort of the short-term goals are, who you want to be meeting, reps if we haven't already done that kind of thing. This is a great time to start really doubling down on that work also. At this time, you're also just going to want to audition. Now, that can be easier said than done, of course, but make sure that you are submitting for projects that are attainable for you and that match your career goals. I'm going to link to a video we did about resources for professional actors. And that's a really good place. That lists some really good places to find where some auditions can be found. But just to sort of briefly go through it, you're going to want to look at Actors Access, Casting Networks, Playbill, Backstage. Those are going to be really good resources to find acting jobs when you first move to Los Angeles, especially if you don't have representation yet. The other thing is just finding performance opportunities. Now, that sounds very similar to auditioning, and it can be. Performance opportunities don't have to be booked jobs. You can, go and do theater. Look for theater opportunities if you're a stage actor. Go to open mics if you're interested in stand-up comedy. Looking into sketch comedy, either your own or forming a team, improv, showcases, things of that nature that supplement the acting career that you're trying to build. I'm a big advocate of only do those things if they're something that you enjoy doing or something that you see as part of your career. Don't go do an open mic night if you don't want to do stand-up, but finding these opportunities that sort of supplement the acting career, I think, can be really important. They can help you build confidence, and they can certainly help escalate how quickly you build your network. Opportunities with student films, for instance. There are a lot of great programs in Los Angeles, whether it's AFI or UCLA or USC or the New York Film Academy, all these really great filmmaking programs. And these are really good opportunities to network with young filmmakers and to build your network, to build relationships, and to also get some really good footage and continue that way. When you first move to Los Angeles, and I think this can sometimes get lost, is make sure that you're taking time for self-care and mental health. This can be a shock depending on where you're moving from. Los Angeles is full of distractions. It is a city unlike any other. The way that it sort of lays out and the isolation that people can feel when they live here is really potent. So make sure that you're taking the time to really focus on yourself. Who are you away from work? Because that's also going to inform your work when you get there also. But also making sure you're setting realistic expectations. When I talked about finding your community, this is the time to lean on that community. So just make sure that you're not, nose to the grindstone, 24 hours, work, and that you burn yourself out, because that is a real fear that people should have, is just burning themselves out and running out of steam. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint, so make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. Because you've been such a good audience member, I do actually have a bonus tip. One thing about Los Angeles that is really actually unique is so much of the city is centered around the film industry. That's not really true anywhere else. In New York, anyone you meet is probably not affiliated with the industry. In Atlanta, in Chicago. But here, there is so much happening. I would really encourage you to get to see as much of that as possible and to get as involved with that as possible. Volunteer to be a reader with a casting director. Sign up to be a PA on a film, working, on the back end so you can kind of see how things navigate, help build your network, and really just gain confidence and get to know the industry on a whole. It's going to help you once you are in front of the camera also. So finding opportunities to be involved in the industry, even if they aren't acting opportunities, is a really great bonus tip. If you got value out of this video, please click that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you get alerted every time we put out a new video. And if you're an actor who lives in Los Angeles, I would love if you would leave a comment below telling me what I missed. I'm not an actor. When I moved to Los Angeles, I didn't pursue this. You've lived this experience. I think it would be really great if we could help each other as a community pass on that information, that hard-won wisdom. So I would love if you would leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Take Count.